Hey there, it's BoardGameDave. Welcome to another Solo Play Sunday. Today I'll be soloing a game called Glass Road by Uwe Rosenberg. This is an extremely incredible game that I've become absolutely obsessed with in every sense of the term in the last 2 weeks or so, and I've played this game 10 times in as many days, which is kind of nuts. I've played it with Hannah and I've played it a ton solo as well. I can't wait to see how it plays at 3 and 4 players, but it plays great at 2 and it plays really, really great at solo. So I'll be doing a quick teach/overview before we begin the playthrough, and then we'll just dive right in. Oh, before we begin, I thought you should know that Solo Play Sundays are for charity. At the end of the game, I'll donate double my score to a charity, which for this week is the Corning Museum of Glass in New York. So I'll talk more about the museum at the end of the video, but in the meantime, if you have a recommendation for a charity I should check out or a game I could play for future Solo Play Sundays, please let me know in the comments down below. All right, enough chit chat, let's get to it. All right, here we are all set up and ready for a solo game of Glass Road. And as far as easy setup and a quick playtime goes, it is really hard to beat this game. It's got all kinds of crunchy Euro goodness and decision making in a very tight, efficient package, and I love it. So I'm not going to do a full teach, but just a quick overview of the game. Okay, throughout, well, at least in the solo mode, we're going to pick some cards from our hand here. Okay, set them off to the side. Okay, shuffle them, and then we're going to start flipping over and resolving these cards. Now, the first few cards that we choose, we're only going to get to resolve the top or the bottom of those cards until we have 2 cards left in our little stack that we made. Okay, at that point, we'll flip those 2 over. We'll get to resolve both actions of one of those cards, and the other one we just ignore. Okay. When that round finishes, we're going to take all those cards that we either played or didn't play, discarded, put them off to the side, and then the next round we can only choose from the cards that we have left in our hand. So that's the way it goes. And what's really interesting is that each round we get to choose a different number of cards. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5. It's a 7-round game in the solo mode. It's only 4 rounds in the usual game, but it's still very, very, very quick. So we'll leave that up there for reference. And then we resolve these cards. So I'm going to go through these very, very quickly. There's sometimes a cost over here on the left. That's called the, I forget what it's called. But you have to pay that cost to do one or both of these actions. All right. So paying this means removing one of these forest tiles from your own little board. By the way, this is the kind of supply display of buildings we can get. And then here's my own little home board. Actually, maybe I should put a little space in between. Maybe. Yeah, tiny bit of space. Anyway, so we're going to have that, and that's the only way to get rid of these forest tiles, at least in the beginning, right? So that's how we get rid of these to make more space for building tiles. These smaller tiles, these 1x1s, we can get rid of these at any time, just so you know. So I can do that to get some wood or build a building. Now, these buildings typically have some kind of cost on the left, and then they have different benefits and points as well. At the end of the game, the only thing that scores points is your buildings. That's it, okay? So the top row here are production buildings. These are things that you can do once you have those buildings immediately as many times as you'd like. So there's ongoing things like I could discard one of those sand pits for 2 wood, for example, all right? The middle row, these are immediate things. So it's just a one-time thing. It happens immediately, and that's it. And sometimes they replace the starting buildings that you have over here. Sometimes, if they have that brick edge on the side, but I'm sure we'll talk about that more as they come up. And then the bottom one, these are bonus buildings. These are end game buildings that give you scores. I'm going to be eyeing up this one. This is 2 points per set of groves, sand pits, and ponds. I do like that. I feel like that's a strong tile, so I might be eyeing up that one. So anyway, that's what this build icon is. That means build buildings. All right, so same thing here to get some wood, same thing here to get some charcoal and some food. These are really fun. So these let you either place groves or other 1x1 tiles, right, and sometimes get a resource, or get resources according to the number of those corresponding types of tiles that you have in your tableau. So that's the idea there. This lets you get one of those tiles and also build a building, potentially, right? More building, pay a food. This is cool. So in a solo game, you just choose one of those basic goods and or build a building, getting resources, 1 charcoal per card in your hand. So you want that to resolve early. By the way, I did talk about shuffling the cards, so you have no say in the order that these come up, which is really hard to predict around. Getting some clay, getting some food and or 1 food per pond, getting some charcoal, and then finally adding 1 building from each stack to your private offers. So this is a good way to get more options beyond what's on the board. We take 1 of each of these cards or buildings and put them off to the side. That's our own little private pool that we can buy from and or get some resources. So those are the cards that we play. Now, I should talk about this resource wheel. So this is very, very, very clever. What I want you to imagine is that before the game started, this is like a wind-up toy, right? And we wound up these gears like this, and now, whooshing, they want to rotate clockwise, but they can't right now. Like this glass wheel can't rotate because there's sand there. And my brick wheel can't move because there's charcoal there. But as soon as I gain sand, so you see it says 0 sand, if I do something that gains me 3 sand, I go 1, 2, 3, and now, see where I have 3 sand? Now immediately this wheel is going to turn 1 time clockwise. And now I have 1 glass, and everything else went down 1, right? Instead of 3 sand, I have 2 sand. Instead of 3 water, I have 2 water, like that. So thematically what's happening is that you're spending one of each of these resources, sand, food, charcoal, water, wood. As soon as you have at least one of each of those things, it pivots to the right. Same thing down here to make brick, charcoal, clay, and food. As soon as you have at least one of each, they rotate. And the only way to not have that rotate basically is to have something here at 0, or if I had max glass, right? If I have 3 glass here and this moves, okay, that's not gonna rotate because the glass is keeping that thing from rotating. So anyway, that's the quick overview of the game. But honestly, I feel like you have most of what you need to follow along with this playthrough. If you didn't know the game already, I think that'll give you a pretty solid idea. Now, before we start solo, I should just mention that in a multiplayer game, okay, like I said, there's 4 rounds and you only pick 5 cards. But the really cool thing about multiplayer, and I think they did a pretty good job of simulating the unpredictability in the solo mode, is that in the, let's say, 3-player game, right? I've got these cards, right? And then when somebody plays a card, I'm either going to declare that I have that same card. I have to. Like, let's say somebody plays Fish Farmer, right? I get to play that not on my turn, right? And put it up here, and I get to resolve one of these 2 actions. That's how it works, right? Let's say it was that person's turn and they played the water carrier. If nobody else has it, they get to do both. So that's where it's really interesting trying to predict what other people are going for and maybe try to copy their actions so that you can get more actions beyond just the ones on your turn. It's very, very, very clever. So I won't talk too much about the multiplayer experience, but that's the gist. That's how it works with multiplayer. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to take 1 second to just kind of decide what 3 cards I'm going to choose for this round, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right, here are the 3 cards that I have in mind. We're going to try to just make this a resource getting round. So big charcoal, big clay, and then maybe do some building, okay? And I think what I want to do is maybe buy this shed. This costs 1 wood. It's no points, but it gives me an immediate glass, which is pretty awesome. So next step is shuffling. It's kind of hard to shuffle 3 cards, but I will do my best to be as random as I can. And then, like I said, we're going to resolve the first one by taking 1 action, and then there will be 2 cards left. We choose one to activate fully, and the other one gets discarded, basically. So I will go ahead and stop there, and let's flip this top card. It is the clay worker. So I pay my 1 water, and I get 2 clay, 1, 2. It's that simple. Now I've got 2 cards left, so I'm going to resolve one fully, and the other one we're going to resolve not at all. So do I want to race toward that shed, or do I want to get 6 charcoal? Now, I do have charcoal on both wheels. There's 1 here, and there's 1 here. So I could do 3 there, 3 there, get some clay. That seems like the stronger move right now. I don't need to get this right now. So let me go ahead and do this, okay? And I'll go ahead and play. This is not how it usually goes, but cards that I activate 1 ability, I'm going to put there, and then the one that does both, I'll put down here, okay? So there we're going to pay 1 wood, and then get 3 charcoal here up to 5, and then get 3 charcoal here, 1, 2, 3, and that rotates my brick making like so. So now I have 2 bricks to spend. That's awesome. That's the end of the first round. So we take these 3 cards, kind of fan them off to the side, and now I grab these, ready for round 2, and we're going to draw 4 cards to work with. So give me a second again, and I'll choose 4 cards for this round. Okay, my next 4 cards are good to go. I'm going to start trying to get some ponds out there. I do need food, and my fish farmer can get me food with ponds. I'm hoping that comes out first, and that I can get a whole bunch of food. I can do double buildings here potentially if I've got the food, which I do have 1. I think this is going to work out okay. I'm going to try to get this and that, these 2 buildings. But again, the only way I can build 2 buildings is if that's in the last 2 cards that I pull, which with 4 cards, I mean, I've got a pretty good chance of that happening. What, 50-50 chance that I get to build 2 buildings. So yeah, again, buildings are the only thing that score in this game, which, by the way, I should have gone over this earlier. Right now, I do have 3 kind of pre-printed buildings on my board. So right now, I'm scoring 1 point per glass, half a point per sand, and 1 point per brick, just so you know. So I do have 2 points right now at the end of round 1. We're hoping to get that up to hopefully somewhere in the 20s Uwe Rosenberg does say 30 points in the solo game is an exceptional score. So I have yet to get there, although I will tell you my first play was a 28.5 score, which I was, I guess I was happy with, but then I didn't realize how hard that was to pull off because I have not gotten near that high since. So here we go, Pond Builder. Now I could get some resources based on my 2 ponds, or I could place a pond and get that going. Although I do need to make some space, and I do have a forest kind of clearing card in here, but yeah, it might be better actually to go ahead and cash in. Well, yeah, what I don't want to do is have the, I won't over explain it, but I should probably go ahead and just get some stuff. So I'll get 1 sand per pond. I have 2 ponds. So my sand goes up. Uh-oh, that does make my wood go down a little bit, and I do need 2 wood, so for these 2. So hopefully that'll work out. Next, I flip this guy. Okay, this is going to work out all right. So I'm going to spend 1 charcoal from here to get, 2 food or 1 food per pond, which is the same. So, now I can't rotate that because then I won't have enough wood to buy the shed and the district offices. So I better just move this one up to 1, 2, which means I have 3 brick. Oh my, this thing is a little bit finicky. All right, and look, it worked out. So I do need to clear some forest soon, but this is what I was worried about. See, if I had placed a pond, right, and I do my double building, I would have had to remove something to place that. So that's why I tried to not do that. Although, wow, I need a food, and thank goodness I have 0 food here. Thank goodness I had that 1 sitting here, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to activate my builder. So he needs to eat, of course. So there's 1 food right there, and then I'm going to do a double build. So I'll stick that down here as my double action. I'm going to first play the shed, which actually I don't even need to. That's interesting. I have enough for the district office. I kind of wasn't planning on getting that glass so soon. But beyond that, there's really not too much I can buy. Well, that's not true. There is other stuff, but honestly, that seems pretty strong, just getting a glass outright. So let's buy that first. I'll spend 1 wood. And I don't think it matters. I mean, spatial placement is actually very important in this game. There's a lot of tiles that are looking for specific, like, sand pit placements, or there's a lot of things like this, per contiguous sandpit, or per adjacent, or per empty space. So there are a lot of tiles like that, but for right now, without any direction as far as like adjacencies go, I'll just stick it right there. I don't think it matters too much. So I spent my wood, I get my glass, and then I'll put my district office. Well, it doesn't really matter because I only have 2 spaces open. Now, I could remove some of these tiles, but I'm not going to do that. So district office, I spend a wood and I spend a glass, and we are plopping this down here. Now, this is a cool tile, right? As long as I start using my feudal lord, which gives me those reserved tiles. At any point, I can remove 2 buildings from my private offer to put 1 of these out on my board, which, if I'm going for 2 points per set, that's going to be really handy. So awesome. And it's 3 points. So I love that. And that's the end of round 4. Round 2. So I put my 4 cards off here, and I get these back. Okay, I don't need this. This is a first player marker, but I don't really need it, do I? So that goes there. All right, time to choose 5 cards. Oh, actually, I need to restock this so you can look at these tiles while I decide on my 5 cards for the next round. Okay. Let me quickly point out something that's really tricky with this game, especially when you're low on resources like this. Like, look how many of my resources are on 0, right? A lot of these have these entry costs, right? And with 0 water, if I draw this card, well, actually I have 1 water, but if I had no water and I drew this card, I don't get anything. I have no food, so I can't activate that. I have no wood. Now, I might get wood throughout the course of that round. I might get food. I'm hoping to, but you know, there's 5 cards I'm shuffling and drawing at random, so I don't know what's going to show up, and if that shows up first, it's a total waste of an action. So that really does make choosing these cards very, very, very hard when you have few resources like I do. So I'm just going to try to make this a getting resources round, even though some of these cards, you know, they're not the best, but we're going to try and see what we can do. I need to bring up my resources so I can play better cards. So I've got 5 cards. We're in round 3. We're doing some shuffling, and we'll see what shows up. All right, let's flip the top card. Here it is. Carpenter, yes, and I did put a lot of these forest clearing cards because, guys, I'm totally packed. I haven't taken a single tile off yet. So why don't we go ahead and remove maybe, like, am I going to go for 1 point per contiguous? Probably not. I mean, it'd be cool to get 4 sand things together. I could do that maybe here. I don't know. Let's go ahead and pop this one off for right now. Okay. And then I'm gonna get 1 wood or 1 build. Now, I was looking at this, is there anything I can build? I don't think that there is anything I can build, which is really sad. I mean, I don't have any clay. That's a big problem. I only have 1 glass. I don't have any wood. So my basic building materials are 0, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't see anything I can build. I'm pretty sure I don't. So it'll have to be collecting 1 wood, which is unfortunate. It's too bad, but we'll bring that wood up and flip another card. All right, I could get another grove and some wood. I could also get some food to start making more glass over there. That's tricky. It's really hard to know what to do sometimes. I could build this if I get my food up high enough. It says artist colony. It gives me a glass, but it replaces my glassmaker's colony, which is 0.5 point per sand. So do I want to do that? I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. So what am I going to do right now? Do I cash in or do I start building up my my orchard grove? I think honestly, let's go long term. We're only in round 3. It might be a good idea to kind of build up the engine. Put that there and I get a wood. Doesn't hurt. Flip another card. I've got spend 1 water for, I almost said 4 clay. I don't get to do that twice. I get to do it once. So that's all right. Spend 1 water for 2 clay. Move that up right there. All right. And with 2 cards left, what do I want to do? I can add some buildings to my private display, which is nice because then that triggers my district officer. I could. And then, that's a nice one. I could clear cut a whole bunch and get 4 wood. That honestly right now seems better. Later on, I do want to do this whole remove 2 buildings, but right now making some space seems huge actually. So I think I'll do this first. And I don't know, maybe I'll work toward this. Actually, let me show you this really quick. I didn't think about it, but these 2 together would be really, really great. If I can make that 2x2 thing with sand pits, I get 4 points, and that would already give me 4 points per contiguous sand pit. So I could try to just go super heavy on the sand strategy. That's not a bad idea. That might be a better idea than this, just because they synergize so well. Okay, I might pivot toward that direction. So what I do, I cleared out my forest and I get 2 wood twice, so 6. All right, so that was round 3. Now, round 4 is the fun one. This is where we get to draw 6 cards, but then we drop all the way back down to 3. So round 4, this is where you really want to make something happen. So I need to spend some time kind of planning this next round because this is really, really important. If you botch round 4, it's hard to come back. So give me some time. I will think and mull over my decisions and we'll see what I come up with. Okay, I've got my 6 cards ready. I'm going to try to put some more sand pits out and really just collect some resources because I'm really, really short on resources. And with that 6 cards in my hand, this is when I always like to play my fuel collector. 1 charcoal per card in my hand. Hopefully that's the first card I flip and I get 5 charcoal, which I do need to put on 1 wheel. But we will see how this goes. So I hope you're kind of following along and enjoying the playthrough so far. It is such a good game, guys. And it does go very, very quickly. Like I said, my average plays take 36 minutes these days. Very consistently 36 minutes, actually, like uncannily consistent with that 36 minute mark. But anyway, so yeah, and honestly, my scores from 28.5 just got lower and lower and lower. And I was getting really discouraged because, you know, it was 26 and a half, and then it was 21 and a half, and then it was like 19, and then 17, and then 16 and a half. I thought, what is going on? So hopefully I'm on the upswing. I did score, 21, maybe 22 last time I played. So, yeah. Anyway. All right, here we go. Round 4, 6 cards. Okay, I like that. I'm ready to put a salt pit down. I'll put it right here and get myself a clay. Next, we've got the pond builder. Yeah, so I thought maybe I'd go for that pond strategy too. And I'll put that here. I do want to save room for that 2x2 sand pit. So excuse me, water, I got that out because of the glass connection, you know. We've got, nice charcoal burner, spend a wood. There you go for 3 charcoal, and I better put it on this side, I suppose. And then clearing out some forest. I will clear this out. And I think I need to get my food production going. Now my bricks aren't going to move at all. I'm maxed on bricks, so I may as well go ahead and start working on this side of things to get some more glass. And then I'm down to 2 cards, and I get to do both of these. So this one is really lame. Now, I'm not positive about how this would work if I did choose this. I think this is still in my hand. I'm just ignoring it. So I think I'd get 1 charcoal, but obviously that is very underutilized. I guess I'll go ahead and go with the cultivator, which lets me place one of those tiles and build something. So I do think I want to build the salt pit, although maybe I should kind of look at what's out here. What do I want to build? What can I build? Let's see. I have this, believe it or not. So 2 wood, 3 clay, 2 brick. I've got that. This is cheaper. I do want to get both at some point, but maybe I should just go with, well, you know what? Maybe I'll go with this because that spends more resources, which lets me kind of build things back up. Is that really stupid? That sounded stupid saying it out loud. Yeah, I'm pretty committed to both of these, so I don't think it matters a ton which one I go for right now. Let me just go for this one. I think having resources in your supply are really good for cards that require costs to activate. So I'll go with the cheaper one. Here's this for 2 wood, down to there, and then 1 clay, down to there. So my wheels don't pivot, but that's that. Building. And then, of course, I'm going to put that sand pit right there. So that's the end of round 4. Now we're back to 3 cards in hand, then 4, then 5, and it's over. So it does go pretty breezy, like I said. Let me fan these out over there, get some of these awesome cards back in my hand, and then let's figure out what endgame bonus scoring card we have here. It says, I keep saying card, tile, of course. Watermill, 1 point per water. Hey, I mean, that's something maybe I could work on. By the way, I also have been kind of not doing these production buildings, which is probably a mistake. I think having like 1 or 2 production buildings is pretty strong. Well, I guess I have this, but I haven't used it yet. So I like these resource conversion things. Remember, you can do this as many times as you want at any time. So if I have a lot of charcoal, getting a lot of water and 4 points, that's huge. And trying to sync that up with something like this, so I have a whole bunch of water at the end of the game, that's potentially 7 points. So something else maybe I'll look at as I get 3 cards ready for round 5. All right, I've got sort of a weird plan. We'll see if this backfires tremendously because those wheels are very finicky and hard to predict how they're gonna spin. But I think if I can do 2 buildings, I might be able to get the artist colony and the spa this turn, which, fingers crossed, everything's gonna have to go right. So if it doesn't work out, maybe next round I'll get to build those things. So we are in round 5, just 3 cards here to work with, and we're gonna kind of see what happens. So I still haven't used my feudal lord to put buildings in my private offer. I don't know, I guess I should do it next round, but it doesn't seem super urgent. But yeah, we'll see. So shuffle, and we're ready to do it. First one is woodcutter. That is awesome. So I don't get to build twice this round, but that's okay. Let's get rid of, I don't even know where am I headed to, where am I trying to grow here? Maybe down here. So that goes there, 2 wood, and I have to choose one of these 2 buildings. So I could, of course, do the carpenter, get both things. That's a wood and a building, and it clears up some space, which is really, really important. I'm kind of limited with space right now. That might be the way to go, or get 1 resource and a building. Well, honestly, this is better. I'm clearing out and getting a resource and building. So let's do that. Clear that out there. I get a wood. Oh, by the way, I can do this in either order. It hasn't really mattered so far. And then I think for the free glass, I think I just want to do this again. It's a point as well, and it only costs 1 food. So spend a food here, get the artist colony, and I'll put that, I don't know, way down the corner, I guess. Like so. Oh, replaces glassmaker's colony. Oh, I wasn't, yeah, of course. So now I don't score for sand at the end of the game, which, I mean, oh, that's tricky. That's tricky because I might be going for like a big sand engine with all these desert spaces. Ooh. Okay, now, hold on. Let me think about this. So that was a wood, and I spent a food. Now I could go this way, get 1 clay. That would get my clay up to 3, and then I could build the spa because I have all that. Oh wait, no, I don't have the glass without that. Rats, I'm so close. I'm so close to getting that. But I'm 1 clay and 1 glass short, 1 water short really, so. Oh boy, all right, well I guess half a point per sand. That's 3.5 points potentially. I don't know, let's just stick with it. So where was I? I'm spending, I got a wood and I'm spending a food. Yep, I'll stick with it. All right, replaces, sorry, I keep forgetting that. There it goes. So I get a glass. All right, that's 3 cards. Take these back, put those over there. And my next immediate building is spend 1 sand for 4 wood and it's 1 point. That's not bad, but that's the one I really want. I want to be able to convert charcoal into 2 water. That would be awesome. That'd be great. So add these back into my hand, and we are going into round 6, 4 cards for my next round. All right, I fear I'm falling into the same trap I do every time I play this game, which is trying to go for too much. Between now and the end of the game, this is the second to last round, I'm gonna try to get the spa and the builder's hut and the sediment factory. So lots of things I'm gonna try to get, but I don't know, I feel like it's doable. So yeah, we're gonna see how this works. It's kind of weird because I really do need to think about, okay, what do I need to spend? Like, I have enough clay for all of those buildings. So moving this along really doesn't help me at all. Like, I don't need more clay, but you know, instinct says, well, move up the food so you can make more clay, you know. But I don't need that. What I really need is glass, I guess. But do I even need? No, I don't even need glass. So all I need is what? Clay? What do I even need? 3 wood, 2 glass, a whole bunch of clay. I need 8 clay. So I guess that's going to be the thing I really need to focus on more than anything. But the cool thing about this, and Uwe Rosenberg actually puts this as a tip in the rulebook, is putting something like this to just kind of act as a break, let you work on getting, my clay or my charcoal up without worrying about the wheel pivoting. So sometimes keeping that just parked there is not a bad idea. So, all right, 4 cards. Work with me here. Let's do it. Card number 1, cultivator. Yes. So that is good. And I do want to get some salt pits out there, but I have my salt pit guy in here, so I'm not worried about that. What I want to do is clear out these orchards, and I can do that with my builder's hut. This is anytime I can get rid of a grove, I should say, to get 2 clay. So I'm going to build that right now. 1, 2, 3, and 1 brick. And now this doesn't spin, again, because of the food, but this is going to be my clay thing, right? I was just saying I need a lot of clay. I didn't do this on purpose. Well, I hadn't quite made the connection, but now I can pop these guys off willy-nilly. Goodbye, orchard, 2 clay. And I could say, goodbye, orchard, and get 2 more clay. And I don't want to do it again because I'm capped at 7, but now I've got 2 more clay just sitting up there right for the picking. So that was, I think, the right choice there. Now I have everything I need, actually, to build that and that. I'm almost sure, which is pretty cool. So, oh gosh. Okay, pretend I didn't see that. I did not change the order. Sorry about that. Next is the feudal lord. So I'm okay on wood, aren't I? What do I need? I need 4 wood. Okay, so I'm not great on wood, but that would get me there. But I was thinking about doing the whole private stack thing. I mean, I should use this sometime, right? If nothing else, it'll give me a point because I'll be adding more salt pits or get a clay and a wood. I'm not too worried about clay and wood. Maybe I should be, but I'm going to go ahead and just take 1 from each stack. I feel like I should kind of, show you how that works at least. So I'll put these right here. Well, maybe I'll show you up close. I've got a farmstead. Ooh, that would let me get rid of my ponds, and I don't need my ponds for anything. That's cool. Ooh, that's actually really cool. Glass and 2 clay. I'll think about it. This is what? Immediately get 1 charcoal per water. Not great for me. Endgame scoring, 1 point per contiguous grove. I just got rid of all of them, so I certainly don't need that. Oh gosh, I keep revealing my cards. Thankfully, it didn't matter because the order was already there, and I would know what cards are coming. So I'll put these off to the side like this, and then I'm choosing one of these 2 cards. Probably, I mean, honestly, oh wait, I just moved all my clay up. I didn't need to do that because he would move my clay up. Well, maybe I'll take sand instead. Or this. I don't really need food. I mean, I could get, 5 food out of that, but I don't really need it. Do I need food? No, I don't. So I guess I'll go with the pit worker instead and get a whole bunch of sand, although I'm not scoring my sand, so that seems a little silly. I mean, I guess I could make glass out of it. Ugh. Darn it, neither of these are really good. Well, I'll go with the pit worker because, of course, I do want to be building these sand pits, so I don't know why I'm thinking about it so much. That goes there, and that locked in the 4 points for me. I'll double check before endgame scoring, but I believe it doesn't matter if I have a whole bunch of these 2x2 sand things. It's just 4 points. So that plus a clay, so I'm maxed on clay, and then I'm not going to choose clay, of course. I'll do sand, and I have 5 sand pits for 5 more sand. Boom, there you go. Round 6 is over. I put these off to the side. It's actually important here to know what I have set aside, kind of. So I'll do that and take these back, and we are into this last round. I wonder if I can build a spa and a sediment factory. And who knows, maybe I'll build something else while I'm at it. All right, we'll find out. All right, this is it. Last round. I was kind of at a blank with like what to do with my 5th card, but I am just going absolutely bonkers on buildings and hoping I can build at least 3 things. Ideally, I want to build the spa, and I forgot to flip a new building over, the sandstone factory. That's huge. That's actually more important to me than the spa. So I'm hoping to build spa and sandstone factory and sediment factory and what was it? Water mill, I guess. I don't know. That's super ambitious. So we'll see. And the only way I could build 4 things this round is if this comes out in that last pile, which, we'll see. So anyways, this is it, everybody. Last round. I'm feeling pretty good. Like, I've got a decent thing of resources. My sand isn't scoring, of course, because I replaced that glassmaker's colony, but if I can get the sandstone factory, that's the first thing I want to get. I can convert those 6 sand into 2 brick, or whenever. So that would really, really make me feel like I was using my sand for something, and I need a lot of brick for some of the stuff I'm trying to build. So if all goes right, I think we can build at least 3 things for big points, and and see how it goes. So yeah, actually, if I can only build 3 things, I think it should be the spa and the sandstone factory and the sediment factory. I think that would be totally fine. I think that would give me a lot of points. Whoops. Yeah, I think that'd be a good way to go. By the way, you do have to consider, like, for an example, a tile like this, right? Bricks are 2 points at the end of the game. So, or bricks are 1 point each. So I'm spending 2 points to get points, right? Or like, I don't know, a better example would be like the hot springs. Okay, yeah, I'm getting 4 points, but I'm also spending 2 glass, which again, glass is a point each. So you have to sort of keep that into consideration. Sometimes the buildings that have lower points on them are actually, the same as the higher point ones because you're spending less of those valuable resources. So anyway, just a little consideration here, but I think I'm happy with what I want. Oh, you know what? Shoot. I also need to build lumber storage. That's kind of like a huge part of my plan, is getting that wood. Oof. I forgot about that. That's one of the first things that I think I might need to do. Wow, lots to do, but that's not huge points. Do I need that much wood? Depends what I'm trying to do. I kind of do need wood, but I've got cards in here that will give me wood. Okay, that's plenty of shuffling, I'm sure. Let's do it. Okay, so get a resource, and then, oh no, sorry, not and then. I can only do one of those things. So that coming out first makes me really, I need to just commit to a strategy right now. I think that is huge. It's 4 points, plus it gives me a lot of clay, although I do need wood going forward. But again, I have cards in here that'll give me wood. So let's try supplier, and let's get that sandstone factory, put that right here. And that cost me 2 wood and 2 clay. 2 wood and 2 clay. Now, at first you might be panicking because I'm out of clay and the stuff I want to buy requires clay. But now that I have this, of course I can spend 3 of these, 1, 2, 3, to make a, oh, sorry, I say clay and brick interchangeably sometimes. 3 sand for a brick. I could do it again, although I might want to hang on to that in case I want to buy the lumber storage. And if I'm short on clay, I've got the builder's hut, which that could help me. Well, we'll see. Here's another card. Forest Manager. This was kind of my just throwaway card. I didn't know what else to do. So I think I'll just go ahead and put one of these. Probably doesn't matter too much. I'll put it there and grab myself a wood. That was kind of what I was keen to do. All right. 3rd card, and then I'm down to my last 2. So hopefully this isn't the builder. Oh, of course it is. Of course. That's too bad. I mean, another building is huge in this game. So, oh well. Oh, that's too bad. I had a 1 in 3 chance of that happening. Spend a food. Has to be that one. And then I get to build one of these things. So, what to build? This is the really, really interesting question. I know I want this because that's at least 4 points already. Hopefully 5 points. So that's really good. I can build that right now, but then what's the other? Oh, I can't build it right now. I need 1 more clay. And then the other one I wanted to build was not that. The spa. Yeah, so let's see. The only thing I'm missing for that is 1 wood. So I don't remember exactly what cards are in here, but I think the one that lets me build in here clears out a forest and gives me a wood and lets me build. So I'm pretty sure I don't need that. And since I can only build 1 more thing, I don't want to buy a dinky little 1-pointer. So I think I'm good to do that and then the spa. So I don't know for sure, but I think I'm okay with this. So here goes 2 wood. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, because it's only 1 wood there. Okay, so 2 wood. Whew, this is tense. 1, 2, 3 clay and 2 brick. Oh, wait. So let's just imagine that I did this first. So 3 sand there to get 1 more clay, and then there's the 2 clay. Sorry about that. I shouldn't do that in the middle of a payment, but I hope you see that that was all right. So 1 point per contiguous. Stick that right there. All right, and then I'm gonna flip this, and I should have, that's the one. Okay, don't need any pond things. So clear this out, my last forest. All right, and that gives me a wood, which is great. I'm so glad I knew the cards well enough to anticipate that. And then I should have this. Oh, wow, that's like the first time, one of the first times in this game that it's felt like it actually clicked for me. So I get my wood up to, I already did that, didn't I? Yeah, I got 1 wood, and now I'm gonna spend 1 wood, and 2 glass, 1, 2, and 3 clay, 1, 2, 3, and that gets me my spa, which goes, doesn't really matter, right there. So that was me getting wood and building something. And then of course I'm gonna go ahead and use this district office to remove 2 buildings from my private supply. Here's 2, to throw another sand pit down here, like so. All right, so that's how things go. I didn't get to do some other stuff I wanted to do. I thought maybe with this spa, 1 charcoal into 2 water, like right now I could go nuts with that water, bring it all the way up to 6. That would have been nice if I had this one, but you can only build so many things, and I built what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would say honestly, 8 with this. I would say it's pretty good. So all right, well, why don't we just jump right into endgame scoring here? So I don't think there's any other conversions I want to do. I wish I had more sand or something, but I think I'm okay with where we're at. I don't think there's anything I can finagle to get more points. So let's do it, everybody. Let's see, 1 point per glass, that's 0. This is not an endgame scoring thing since I replaced my sand thing, which would also be 0. 1 point per brick, I also have 0, so that's done. This is 3 points. This is 0. This is 4 more points. I'm at 7. 1 point per contiguous sand pit, so there's 5. That's 12 total. 2 more here for 14. 4 more points here for 18, and then 4 points if I completed that little thing. 4 more points. I think that's 22. Let me just double check one more time. Oh, just one quick thing that I missed. That does give me a point actually, just for the building itself. So it's 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 4 is 8, plus 5 is 13, plus 2 is 15, plus 4 is 19, plus 4 is 23. So 23 is my final score. Not too shabby. And that was Glass Road Solo. By the way, a quick belated shout out to Danny over at Board Game Sanctuary. He made this video called Why Glass Road is the Best Solo Game Ever, and it's what got me kind of hooked on this game in the first place. So I'll leave a link to that video down in the description. You should definitely check it out. He makes a really good case for why this is such a good solo game if you're not already convinced by the playthrough you just watched. Anyway, with a final score of 23, we're gonna send $46 to the Corning Museum of Glass in New York, which is certainly a different kind of charity than I usually do for Solo Play Sundays, but the money goes toward more than just the museum. There's also the studio where they foster creativity and innovation in glassworking, and there's also the Rat Cow Research Library, which is an unparalleled collection on the art, science, and history of glass and glasswork. So it seemed kind of appropriate for a game like Glass Road, so we'll send $46 to that charity. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you enjoyed seeing this playthrough. I really think you should check out Glass Road if you like Rosenberg games, if you like Euros, if you like really satisfying and thinky but short solo games. This might be the next solo game for you, so definitely worth checking out. But anyway, go do that. Let me know in the comments if you've played this game. It is absolutely brilliant. I hope that you'll agree if you've played it before. Yeah, and in the meantime, of course, have a wonderful week. Take care and happy gaming. Bye.